Hello, trading is closed on April the 7th, 2021. We do start with our disclaimer. It's my plan for tomorrow, April 8th. I can be completely wrong. Trade at your own risk. Please follow the rules of my channel, and here's my email. Look for the pattern with the early high. This is it. Tomorrow has the early low. Doesn't mean you won't gap up. Here's what we said. Look for higher prices. And that's what happened. We traded up. During the day, MEJT said this rally was false, would retrace, said this drop was false, would retrace, gave us a sell signal here, but a sell signal just means there's a lower target. Target was hit immediately. So despite the sell signal, that's support. Support doesn't have to hold, but here it did. It did say the rally wouldn't stick, and it was false. The price would all retrace, and that's all played out. We don't have anything for MEJT for tomorrow, so we'll have to rely on other stuff. Here was the big gap up. 3 days of motion. Normally it'll correct by a Fibonacci percentage. Instead we have a pattern known as 3 days tight. Instead of correcting in terms of price, it corrected in terms of time. It isn't a reversal signal, it just means you're going to get a big move in all likelihood. And since we haven't been able to take out these lows, and since futures are already up and hitting new all-time highs, the odds favor the big move being up. If I'm wrong, that should be clear by the open. Many people have this as an impulse. I still think it's not. Doesn't make me right. But if that's the end of wave A down, you have A and B, and the next point I have for wave balance is in the middle 4130s. So at 41.6, at 41.36, if we hit it, wave magenta C would be a Fibonacci partner of magenta A, and wave black C would be equal to black A. And if you really want nice fibs, you can take this big drop we had last year. If you set that at 61.8%, 38.2% is at the prior high. I guess this was in 2018. And 100% is right at the same price. So there's a great Fibonacci grid right in the middle 4130s. Doesn't have to be exact, but if we hit 4136, it's the next candidate we have for the end of this rave, which is already quite extended. And even though it's blasted through other candidates before, the larger the pattern in terms of time and price, the more significant the resistance is. Sentiment indicators have been in extremes, seen only at tops ever since early November. Hasn't stopped the market. Maybe this won't stop it either, but I think the odds are good. We have a strong move higher with strong resistance in the 4130s, and if we stop there, it's about as pretty a picture as you can get. Tomorrow's pattern has the early low, doesn't mean you won't gap up. After Monday's big gap up, there's been no pullback of consequence. Instead, we entered into a 3 days tight pattern, tends to be followed by a big move. Breadth improved on the rally, futures are already at new highs. Despite the lower target, which has to print at some time, the odds favor a big move higher. Just remember the middle 4130s, you've got very strong resistance. next candidate, not a guarantee, candidate for the end of the leg up. And that is today's call.